I am forever going to be awkward at this. Hello, I'm Ivory Flight, and I'm going to be sharing with you my favorite tips and tricks on how I got better at art in a few months. Now, obviously, I am not a professional artist at all. This is just what worked for me, a small art baby. So this is just like a crash course lesson on a bunch of different things I took from a bunch of different people. Instead of facing my responsibilities and learning face anatomy, I draw simple guidelines. It is important to start with the ears first, because then at the top of the ears you can align where the eyebrows will sit. At the bottom of the ears, that is where your nose is going to be. Almost halfway, but a little bit up, is where your lips are going to be. And then right down from the eyebrows is where your eyes are going to be. Also, many people struggle with the ears because they overthink it too much. All you need for the ears is just a simple triangle at the side, a line at the top, and whatever your heart desires. I mean, no one's gonna look at your art and be like, the ears lines are not accurate to a human being's. If they do, now you just know who to avoid. One big thing before you draw hair is that you always want to draw them bald. You need bald men before you get the hair. With drawing hair, you always want to make it one big clump. You do not want a bunch of mini strands. You do not want spaghetti. I'm sorry. Another thing is that you always want to flip the canvas. You do not want it to turn out like this. It's giving I found my baby from Temu awe. At this point, I think the only thing keeping me alive is references. They are more important than the food I eat at night. People might tell you it's not real art if you use references, but they can go stick a fork up their butt. Yeah, the one I used to eat spaghetti with. Pinterest is where I live. It is my second home. You can find beautiful things to draw on Pinterest. I mean, just look at the beautiful things you can find. Okay, I do not have rendering down at all. I still struggle with it a lot. But I will make your life way less painful and give you everything I've learned so far. If your drawing looks flat and uncolorful, then you want to shift the hues. It gives your drawing a little bit more pop. Also, using a gray background can kind of set the tone for what your skin color and just colors in general are going to look like. What makes my life easier for finding shadows is if you take the skin color and set it on multiply. Some spots for shadows include the top of the eyelids, the nose, under the lip, the neck, the ears, and under any parts of hair that create shadow. And one thing, like no one taught me, is that not all shadows are supposed to be hard shadows. Some shadows that aren't from things blocking light are supposed to be soft. The second layer of shadows is for the hard shadows. These shadows come from parts of the body that block light. Another thing that no one taught me is that there's a blend tool on Procreate. I was just using an airbrush brush, not an actual blending tool, for literally half of my art journey. Another thing that gave a lot more life into my drawings was using subsurface scattering. It is what happens when the light hits your skin. It's basically just adding a hot pink color around, blending it together, and just taking the opacity down, and it just gives it so much more life and depth. When you're adding highlights, you usually want to go to the yellows, but you don't always go to the yellows. Just go off your reference if you have one. Also, with highlights, you always want to blend them. There's no cases where you don't blend them. When drawing hair, you always want to add a dark tip and a dark top. And now's the time for mini hair strands. It's gonna break away from the big character and just give it a lot more freedom. I always add a more lighter color for some of the hair strands. It just makes it less bland. Then adding a soft gradient lighting on the top, it just ties it all together. Chef's kiss. My iPad decided to hate me, and so here is the speed paint for what I did for the eyes and the lips. For the eyes, you always want to add a darker color for, the white part of the eyes, because then if you use plain white for the highlight, it'll pop way more. Also, the top of the eye, the pupil, gonna go from darkest at the top to lightest at the bottom. For the lips, I always use a color I already have on my painting so that it doesn't throw the drawing off. The top lip is always going to be darker than the bottom lip. And at the side of the lips, you want to blend them. And then you want to add a highlight at the top part of the lips, the cupid's bow, and right in the middle. And there you have it, a very ugly but acceptable human being. mine's just a quick prototype, but if you guys actually take your time on this, then it's gonna be beautiful. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope I helped you just a little bit in your art journey, and I'll see you again next time. Bye!